Today's cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee. It's been an interesting start to the new year.
Welcome to my breakdown.
Wasn't that song?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like if you have never experienced Alice Cooper's album From the Inside, go and listen to it.
Yeah.
That was such a phenomenal album and so poignant to me while I was getting sober back in the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's okay because I can occasionally have a splash of rum in my coffee.
Yeah, you don't
No.
abuse it.
No, I have no need to get drunk. But it's like, as far as having a total, complete meltdown today, yeah, I did. I don't get them often. And I could come on here and try to hide it. But I think that disclosure has been the name of the game lately.
Mm-hmm. Transparency.
Transparency. I like that better. And so, have had the physical mess lately. And I'm not sure exactly what this is. I don't know if it's a vibrational or frequency shift. Of course, everything is.
But you feel like you're vibrating from the inside out.
And I've had this before in 2013. And oh God, that was such a traumatic experience. That whole thing was so fucking traumatic. Do I fear a repeat of that? Well, yeah.
I mean, that's trauma response right there.
Sure. And what triggered it, and God, that word is so fucking overused.
By the people who abuse it, yeah.
And I listened to Robert Phoenix and his sort of synopsis of what is coming up in 2024. Astrologically.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand that this is a person interpreting any of these things. And it is subject to the interpretation of that individual.
Yes.
Because the information, it just filters down through a human. So there was in no way that he was trying to fear porn or anything like that. But we've got some hardcore shit. And I think to have somebody else sort of verbalize what we knew internally,
mm-hmm.
that was kind of reality slapping me in the face.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you already know that shit's going to go down. You can feel it.
Yeah.
And then just for someone to tell you, yeah, shit's going to go down. It's almost like kicking you when you're down. It's like you're already on the verge of panic.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone just tips you off.
Mm-hmm. And he's not the first one. He is about the third or the fourth one that I have heard talk about April of 2024.
I think partially the devil's trying to get you off, like.
Well, that's
trying
always
to like knock you off your game and such like that. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And
the main thing that I think was a subconscious tipping point for me was when he mentioned about the New Madrid fault line. Because this was something that I was shown back in 2013. And, my God, because husband, he's originally from that area of Tennessee. We have been to Reelfoot Lake, where the New Madrid fault line goes through that. If you're not familiar with that, I'm not going to go into a history of it, but when the fault line, the last quake, the Mississippi ran backwards. And so it was a matter of working so damn hard for so many years to try to keep husband out of that area, and that the unclean entity that was in him, on him, around him, whatever the hell it was, took him right back down there, and that's where he is now.
Yep.
And when I spoke with him this evening and I explained to him what was going on, and he's like, God's going to do whatever he's going to do. And no matter what, we keep our focus on him.
Yes. Yes. I have faith that he's going to protect the ones that, are chosen. I don't know. I was shown a dream years ago. Well, years meaning like probably 3 at this point. I'm holding faith to that. That's what I'm holding on to.
Well, it's a matter of holding on to God regardless. And just because something in the natural looks a certain way, we may not have understanding of it on a spiritual level.
Right.
And sometimes until years afterwards. And I know that, but when you've gone through years of trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, it sort of builds up, and every so often, I'm allowed a meltdown every now and then, and I'm grateful that I have a therapist. And when I got in touch with her, I'm like, if you have an opening today, and she's like, well, actually I do. And I'm like, yay. I need the voice of reason. I need a voice of wisdom. And she's been my therapist for quite a while now, probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, you do really well with her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the only one. And so I was able to discuss with her. And it's like right now because nobody knows exactly what's going on. And everybody keeps rehashing problems. But I'm having difficulties finding people who have solutions. And I don't know on some of these big things. I still trust that God said whenever he does whatever he's going to do.
And everybody would know.
It'll be in a way that no man will take credit, and everybody will know it was God.
He's going to do that. He's going to do that, and I am holding faith to that. Like that dream, because I think that dream was from him. I'm holding faith to him.
Yeah. So it's like,
and right now, this is a time that the devil has really tried to shake our faith.
Oh yeah.
And I refuse.
So I have rebuked and bound and pled the blood all day long.
Read Psalms.
Oh, I did that. I was laying down. It's like there was a wonderful channel that's called Logos, Logos, which means word.
I tried to look up that channel and I couldn't find it.
Well, I'll help you find it. I'll give you a link. I'll send you a link to it on your phone here after a while. That it's Psalms, and it is just proclaiming, it is putting out there the Word of God.
Yeah.
Because many, many years ago, like 30, God had spoken. He said, remind me of my promises. Now, it's not that God ever needs reminding of anything. It was a matter of us reminding ourselves of his promises. And I searched for that scripture because I had read it and went back and couldn't find it.
But maybe that was God showing you something for you.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Years later, I heard a pastor on TV talking about that same passage.
So then what happened with that passage?
Don't know. Don't know if that was one of those
Mandela
multiverse bullshit things or what.
Like the fucking Fruit of the Loom thing. They took that out of history. Mm-hmm. How they took that passage out of history.
And it's like this. It doesn't matter what type of universe they try to put us in, or multiverse or whatever the hell. God created all of them.
Literally. God is the one.
He is the programmer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is the fucking head, the developer of this matrix we are currently in.
Mm-hmm. And so that's one. And Robert Phoenix used this amazing phrase today that I had not heard of before. And he advised people to be very careful with truth porn.
Oh, what do you mean? Like people's just speaking unfiltered truth?
Yeah.
And it hurting and it's freaking people out?
Yes. And that too much of that can be just as bad as the other.
Yeah, it's traumatizing in a way. It does hurt. And That's what I try to just
No,
focus
I
on happy
understand
stuff
that.
right now.
I understand that because we've got reality that's hitting every conceivable way. And I am one of these people that is painfully aware every fucking moment. And that is a wonderful thing about my therapist, is that she understands about the psychic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is she one?
No.
Or does she, so
No.
she just believes?
She knew somebody that knew me when I was doing the stuff professionally.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yep.
And she had no idea. This was it was a truly God-appointed thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started way back telling her about some of this stuff, she's like, oh, I know so-and-so. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her very much. So there was that mutual acquaintance and stuff that validated what I was telling her.
Mm-hmm.
Because going into a mental health professional and trying to explain a spiritual experience can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Very. Certain humans in general are not meant to deal with stuff on that level almost.
Right. And it's like I told her today, I said, when people go through that type of a spiritual crisis, and I was blessed in the fact that there was a psychiatrist that I have known for many, many years. She did get it. She's Filipino. She's brilliant.
They're very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Spiritual.
It's spiritual. Yeah, spiritual.
Very attuned.
Yes.
And she would sort of had this wonderful little giggle, and she'd go, oh, you're going through a dark night of the soul. And I'm like, what?
I think everybody goes through dark night of the soul, though. I mean, that's how God wrangles us in.
Absolutely. But it's also one of those, if you have somebody that is a shaman or something like that to help guide somebody, rather than trying to put them in a facility and medicate the shit out of them. No. All that does is stop the process.
Yeah. Yeah. It really does. It's in a lot of ways, those things are harmful to people. Mm-hmm. More than good. Now, there are some people that genuinely do need to be on medication.
Absolutely. And this is where you have to have somebody that knows their shit.
Yeah. And truly knowing their shit.
And a lot of them don't.
Mm-mm. A lot of them have regurgitated book knowledge. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Yes. And that was just like the main crux of today is in and amongst my admission of meltdown is AI and how AI is going to change our world. And that includes the medical profession. Not necessarily the mental health profession at this point, but the medical profession.
I don't know how much longer AI is truly going to last, though.
I think it will. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing.
Maybe it's just the people who will abuse it will be no longer.
Well, you've got to realize, what is the medical profession based around? And especially, it has devolved greatly. It's no longer about patient care. When a doctor is given 5, 6, 8 minutes per person, that's not proper patient care.
No, not in the slightest.
So basically what they're doing is being paid to have a good memory or not, depending on who it is. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're human, they're fallible. They could have bad days too.
Yep.
AI doesn't have bad days. So if you've got a searchable memory base, different symptoms that could, preclude, different. That's all medicine is. It's a matter of symptoms. Matching symptoms up with possible diseases.
Yes, but...
You do the blood work, you do the testing, you rule out things.
I think it goes deeper than that. I think they also need to do spiritual healing. Because, let's face it, spiritual stuff can affect people health-wise.
Absolutely, but allopathic and or Western medicine has never dealt with that.
No,
Ever.
but it's about time that they do implement that
Well,
and they start integrating that, because it is a much needed thing.
It is, and there are small quantities. Every now and then you will find somebody that it is a matter of integrative medicine. Okay? But that's very, very small.
Yeah.
So I think that AI could, for the most part, change some of the medical field for the better. I think you might. There's times that you could get, and it was something I had, I don't know, somewhere in my inner zones' journeys over the past week or so, somebody that had been diagnosed through AI, and they got it right. Now, like I said, we've got tests, we've got all these different things that have to confirm different conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So it very well could cut out the middleman in some things.
Honestly, in that case, yeah, bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
That would do so good.
Mm-hmm.
But also, empathy. They don't have souls. Sometimes you need a doctor that has a little bit of empathy.
Yeah, but in 6 or 8 minutes, they don't have time to have empathy. All it is just a matter of them. You've seen it, I've seen it, and that was just like the gentleman that, and I, God love him, it was one of those, I ended up praying for that young man, once a year thing through our health insurance.
Okay.
And that he was a urologist, and he was doing for monies the once a year screening, which was basically asking questions.
Right.
And it was one of those, I'm like, honey, why are you working on Christmas Eve? Yes. That was my question, because I asked better questions than he did. And
was it that, or you just already heard all those questions before?
No, it was a matter that I was there to understand and know about him, because I have prayed for him since.
Okay.
And that as far as here, he has spent all these monies, all this time going to school, and as far as trying to find a job that's going to pay him enough to where he can start paying back on the student loans and live, and they're few and far between. And God love him, he is a young man, and he already, you could see it in his face, he was so weary, and he thought that he's screwed. So some of these jobs that we think are top of the line right now, very soon may not be. So if you've got a kid, urge them to learn a trade.
Yeah.
Plumbers, carpenters, different things like that. Practical things.
Because trades are never going to go away.
Nope. I don't think they've got a robot that can go in and plumb a house right now.
I don't think they will ever be able to properly do that.
Right. You know, if it's a HVAC unit, something like that, there's bunches of things. And it's just like auto mechanics. And I'm hoping that people will get over this idiocy of these, electric cars. Go and research how lithium is mined.
Figure out how to make a water-powered car.
Oh, yeah. Well, if the alien technology is revealed, we won't have to worry about a lot of this shit.
No, we'll have to worry about radiation. Uranium poisoning.
That was the reason, as far as nuclear, we do not have, it's not safe.
No. And they use that shit in dishes.
It is beyond our capability. You do not need to be using the technology if you do not know how to properly dispose of the waste. And burying it for future generations is not the correct answer.
No, but it's like, what do you do with that stuff?
Right. You keep it as theory until you figure it out. Don't put it into practice. But as far as this lithium stuff and all this bunch of bullshit, and that is a grift from hell.
Isn't lithium like a drug?
No, it is. Well, that's a different thing. As far as the lithium ion batteries and stuff like that, lithium itself is a drug. But this is mines.
Okay.
We're talking a lot of child slave labor on that, digging up that stuff. So next time somebody wants to virtue signal.
Right. It's like also bring up the diamond situation.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't. That's why I don't. I've not been a fan of them forever because I always knew. But AI, some of the AI stuff, it does not have to be horrible.
I don't think it has. I still disagree in the fact that it has a place in art, in the art field. I think it has absolutely no place in it.
Well,
Other than for just play.
Since I'm using the wombo.
Other than play, you cannot say that it is a serious piece of art.
No. No, I can't. There is no way that I would compare AI art to what a human can create, because that is totally different. That is an expression of the human soul.
It's the same with music, because music is an art as well.
Yeah. Well,
AI cannot replicate the same soul that music gives you.
it depends. It depends, because I go through
If it's truly good
audio
music,
library daily to find the music for our videos, and trust me, some of that stuff, it has no soul.
if it's truly good, that's because they're not using instruments that have soul. If it's in someone that is serious about music,
Right.
loves it, puts their heart and passion into that.
There is no substitution for that.
No.
So, and this is where, and I was listening to somebody today, and they were talking about we need to find a healthy balance.
We do.
But when you have a society, and it was probably a Jordan Peterson something, that was talking about when you try to get rid of God, and that's what communism does. It is a matter of atheism, and then they replace God with the state, and that the value of human life diminishes greatly, which is why that there have been millions and millions, and that you've got people that's being lied to, and they have they've fallen into that trap of, it means everybody's equal. No, it does not mean that.
No, everybody's certainly not equal. But
please, as far as if you got a kid in college, my God, you talk about some prayer. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been brainwashed up there in
But
colleges.
that it is a matter of using tools in a proper manner, but you have to have ethics behind it.
You do.
It is not a matter of replacing humans. Can't do that. It becomes like a Tower of Babel to a degree. It's a matter that you've got humans that they're deciding that they're going to go up there and reach God.
The only time
trying to become God.
Fuck that. The only time that I'm going to be reaching for God is if I want a hug.
Mm-hmm. That's
I want
totally
a hug.
different. No, Tower of Babel was, they were going up there, they thought that they were going to capture and control God. Now, you talk about the height
The
of
arrogance.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the whole thing about the ones that rebelled from him. And it says that being had said that he would be like the Most High.
Nah. He can never be.
He got his ass booted.
Yeah. He can never be God. Ever.
No. There was only one.
And there will always be only one.
So, and I know this has been all over the page, but that's just sort of, I have been all over the page.
Mm-hmm. You've had a rough day.
I have had a rough day. It's been a long time since I've had one this rough. Prayers.
Yep.
Because 2013 was the most incredible supernatural paranormal experience I have ever had, and I don't ever want to repeat it again. Because it was one of the most painful experiences I've ever gone through.
It was traumatizing.
I was helping carry the pain of my husband that he didn't even know. It was on a spiritual level, because two become one. And it's like, I thought it was going to crush me. And there were times that I begged God to let me die because it was too painful. And then it was a matter of thinking about this one man that he had carried that with him, in him, for 30 some years by himself. And that somehow I was chosen. And I'm like, oh, gee, I raised my hand at the wrong time. But I lived, and so did he. But do I want to do it again? No. So that's the reason some of these people that are doing some of these drugs to open different doorways and stuff, but as y'all better think about that, because you don't know what you open. And I didn't open this door intentionally. You know, it was just, the whole experience was paranormal, supernatural with that relationship. From the first night, February 22nd, 2011.
Yeah, that was a God thing.
Oh, it was a God thing.
February 2nd.
22nd.
22nd. Oh, God, the 22nd.
You didn't realize it was that?
I didn't realize that it was the fucking 22s?
Yes, 2/22, 2011. I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. So, yeah. If
YouTube was still good in 2011.
Yeah, well. And it was just like, okay, here we go.
But the shit didn't hit the fan until 2013.
Yeah. And there was this huge conjunction that spring. Huge. Mark Biltz had been talking about it, and I found it, and it was just like, phew.
It was a rough period.
Everybody thought I had lost my rabbit-ass mind. They truly thought I had lost my mind.
Except for the ones that were right there with you.
Yeah. And this stuff that kept rolling out. This is coming. This is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And everybody's like, she's crazy, until the shit started happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they bared witness.
Mm-hmm. So, final thoughts, kid.
It's going to be a rough time. But it's not going to be the same roughness that it was in 2013, I don't think.
I hope not. I hope not. I don't know that I could live through it again. So, yeah, prayers. If you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you're having some kind of vibrational or frequency shift, or have had something similar, then please, you can send me an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. That, or put it in the comments section. Mm-hmm. The reason that we decided to go ahead and do this and let everybody know what was going on, because somebody else, if they're not going through it now, they may go through it in the future. This information may help someone else somewhere at some time.
Yeah. Question. Is there such thing as a Reiki reading? Not necessarily a healing, a reading.
Sure. It's just a matter of assessing somebody's astral body. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not with spirit, there is no distance. There is no time. So that's a reason that you can do those things from a distance. You want to do your spiel?
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe. And click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good.
Know that you're loved.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cut.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.